For those that have questions about battery, we're going to answer it all today. But I would like you guys to smash the like, hit the sub if you're new to the channel. If this video gets 1,500 views, 1,500 views with about 60 likes, we'll do another part 2 on the OPPO Find N5. OPPO Find N5 here, questions answered. ZFold says, it's good to hear about this phone from you as a consumer because I wanted a phone so bad. I had the One Plus and it's basically the same type of software. I just like the Samsung software experience better for me, but I did want to try the phone out. Glad to see how it's going for you. Love to see a day in life or how the phone is used and the battery life. So I will answer that as far as the battery life. Battery life is once again amazing. I never even charged my phone to 100% yet. And again, I just like keep it at like 40 or something like that, 50. And I spend the whole day almost with it. You know what I mean? Right now it's at 5%. And I guarantee by the time I'm done blabbing on this video, it will not have gone dead. All right, but the day in the life is not a bad idea. I may think about that. Next question from super happy you made this video from Mikey. Sorry, super happy you made this video for the longest. There were no Find N5 versus ZFold. So this is for the ZFold versus Find N5 video. YouTube videos other than those AI ones, I hate those as well. And just show all the specs. Quick question, as I'm closer to pulling the trigger and buying the Find N5, can you confirm that the fast charges uses 45 watts or even 25 watts charging bricks, Samsung ones, or more generic PD 3.0 ones? I read on Reddit post, unless you're using the supplied 80 watt charger, all other charging bricks only charge at slow 15 watts, even if they're rated 25, 45, 65 watts, etc. I doubt this is the case, but would be a huge deal breaker for me if true. All right, so what is going on? This is Future Wayne here. We are charging currently at 25 watts, which when you do charge these type of phones, it will say that it's 25 watt charging by showing you what I'm going to show you right now on the screen. It says Super VOC or something like that with the Samsung charger. So right now we currently have a little mess on the desk, but here to answer your question. So here we are. All right, so this is the Samsung charger right here. This is my wife's 70 watt charger for Apple, and this is my 140 watt charging brick for Apple as well. We're gonna test it out and see if any of these will work, especially the 70 watt one, because this is an 81 watt charger that comes with it. However, it can't go in these holes. So if you do have it overseas, you can definitely use this. So let's see if the rumors are true. So far, this is the 25 watt charging. And I want to show you guys what it looks like when it doesn't work. So you see where it says Super VOC, and you see that Super VOC charging? That means it's charging at 25 watts currently right now. So we're gonna change now our charger. Okay. And we are going to go, we're gonna go with the 70 watt charger. I'm gonna plug that in and see what happens. Okay. Fast charging says fast charging. So I don't know if that's 70 watts, I doubt it, but we're gonna go back to the 25 watt and see if it says fast charging. Okay, we're gonna go back to it, take it off and put it right here. Ready? It says Super VOC. So that means it's faster than the fast charging. That's good. Good information to know. 70 watt does not work. It just does fast charging, which I think that's 15 watts. I'm not 100% certain. Next one, big one, 140 volt. Let's see. Fast charging enabled, and that's it. Okay, so we are downstairs in the living room now, and phone is still charging. So I looked up Super VOC and what it means. It means that it's charging at a minimum of 65 watts, which means that Samsung brick that I have charges way more than 25 watts. So yes, Super VOC does work, and Super VOC is essentially OPPO's way of saying you're charging at 65 watts or better. Super VOC offers impressive charging speeds, while OPPO has demonstrated capabilities up to 240 watts. 240 watts, which is crazy. But the supercharging, which means it can fully charge in under 10 minutes. Most commercial available Super VOC phones charge at 65 watts or 100 watts, achieving a full charge in roughly 30 minutes. Insane. So my Samsung charger somehow is pushing out from 65 watts to 100 watts. We'll never know because I don't know how to read the battery levels and make sure that that's happening, or go into developer mode to see the charge levels. So that's kind of the interesting part. But to answer your question, yes, it does work. Thanks for the advance. Keep the vids coming. New subscriber here. I appreciate that, Mike. All right, so Mikey says that I cannot confirm 45 watt charging. I can test it out for you, Mikey. Yes, it does work. All right, so Gennaro says, I stopped at It's Your Boy. I'm your boy. That's just point blank. I am your boy, okay? At the end of the day, I'm your boy consumer. I'm your man, whatever. I am your homie consumer, man. Okay? That's all it is. It's all culture differences. I know it's sort of related, but get the Quran and read. Yo, mashallah, I agree with that. I have both on paper. The OPPO would be better, but the Samsung ZFold just looks better in my opinion. I enjoy the front screen of the OPPO. Internal displays are both good. The OPPO's matte inner display still has a glare issue. Like, I feel is not as good as the OnePlus Opens. Speakers sound better on the Fold, but marginally. I like the colors on the OPPO. So he has both. He has both. So he's basically saying what he thinks is better. I agree with some of his stuff. The matte, though, I don't agree. I don't agree with your matte comment because the matte glare actually does work. All right. When it came to the Samsung and I was using it outside, I couldn't see jack, and it was only because the sun was just too heavy on us. All right. But when I took the OPPO outside, a few days actually, and used it out in the park or something like that, to my kids to the park, man, I could see. All right. Next one for the OPPO. All right. No one is reviewing the Honor 5. Others like me must still have not gotten it. Yes. So I think that the Honor Magic V5 is actually out right now, and I do believe that they're shipping it like via eBay. So when you buy something via eBay, and I'm probably gonna answer this again, where'd you buy it? I bought my OPPO on eBay. The box did come open. It felt like there was no, I don't know if there's like a sealing around it, but it was open when I used it. I think they opened it so they can program it into the global mode. I don't know how they do that or factor it in, but it did come with the screen on. It came clean. It was like nice. It was no fingerprints anywhere like somebody used it, so maybe it didn't even like touch it, but it was open. So just letting you know. Do you think the OPPO crease will develop more over time? That's hard to say because in order to do that, I have to continuously crease this and continuously fold and open. I tend to not fold too much as I can. Like, I don't like to just keep doing that. If I know I'm going to use my phone in this mode or this mode, I keep it in that mode for a little while. So like if I'm doing Uber rides, I would just literally keep it in this mode, even though this mode is very, very good because I can just simply, let me show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. I can simply go into the Uber app. I can then go here, split screen it, and then like pop up a TikTok. However, when a person comes into your cabin, they don't want to see you watching TikToks and they don't want to hear you watching TikToks. So at the end of the day, it's not a good idea to do that while doing Uber, right? But I do have it on my phone stand, so I'm not holding the phone. But sometimes I do have things open. Like if I wanted to sit there and watch the Uber app while watching a movie on my phone. But I have a Tesla, so that uses that, right? So yeah. But yeah, I think that the crease will always develop over time. Like anything, you have creases in sneakers. You can only but do so much about creasing, right? So at the end of the day, I think it will crease over time. But only one way to find out is when you get another updated video after a month, after 2 months, after 3 months, after 6 months, reviews and stuff like that. So I will continuously bring out those videos so you guys can know what's happening. Okay. Thank you, Orv. Appreciate that. I said because of your intro and visual eloquent. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. We'll see what you're talking about because I don't think we know exactly what he's talking about, right? So let's kind of check that out as far as what he's actually saying, why he subbed. I think he said the intro.
You guys want to know what specifically that made me change and actually want to keep this phone is the developer mode. All right.
Look at that belly.
Let's do this. Let's get in here and let's officially apologize. I'm sorry.
Boom. 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 This is my first time doing eloquent and cinematic, right, footage of a product. First time, and look how it came out, man. First of all, I wanna shout out to the camera that I'm using, A1 Mark II. Amazing. Wasn't capable of doing that otherwise. I mean, I'm pretty sure other cameras are capable of doing it, but to do a cinematic shot like this with the A1 Mark II is it's amazing. So I'm proud of myself for that. I'm really proud of myself for that. So thank you for the comment. When it comes to phones, you just want to know what the phone is, and I think we have like comments here where it says people do agree with the fact that you can just open up a phone and use it. Like with Apple, the simplicity, they make that their priority versus the Samsung side of things. So I don't think I was being biased with Samsung. And it says, man, I'll never watch another one of your videos. I was hoping. So when you comment stuff like this, Tony, and you do end up with one of my other videos in your comment section or in your recommended, and you do watch it, it's kind of going to be like forthcoming that you don't comment, and you just like, I won't ever know if you watch it because you might dislike it just because. But Tony, understand one thing, that when I'm a consumer, I bought something, and what I bought is super frustrating. Just because someone doesn't take the time to learn something doesn't make sense to have a product that for you is messing up, for your experience is not good, and not, it's okay to not like something. You know what I'm saying? And again, reason why I chose the Apple, because it felt familiar. Like, yes, the settings feels familiar. That's very important. Someone also wrote, and this is just from the top of my head, right? Someone also wrote, like, why does it feel familiar? Because you do this with like Apple, like a slide down screen. Yes, that feels familiar. I know how to navigate this setting screen. It's very familiar. So it's very easy to use. And that to me means more than learning something new. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now, the ecosystem, I was wrong in this. The ecosystem of Samsung is amazing. It actually does more. I feel like it does more, especially with this ring. Like measuring your sleep is crazy. Not having to have a watch on to do that. I can just have a ring on to do that. This lasts for so long. I'm excited to get the watch. I'm also getting a watch and the earbuds. So came as a package. So I'm gonna definitely utilize those and start my running again. So I do say that I take back some of those things when it comes to the usability. Is the ecosystem is very, very, very pristine, and it's not hard to use at all. So my fear for the phone itself was that I have to learn how to use this ecosystem. I have to learn how to use that. It was more so overwhelming. So when you're a consumer and you're not used to something, the reason why most consumers, I'm sorry I'm even like lasting this long on this question or this comment. The reason why most consumers don't like to shift to new products is because the familiarity and the difficulty, right? Everybody wants something simple and easy and nothing crazy. So I'm excited to see Apple come out with their Fold. I'm not necessarily saying I'm gonna, like, my feelings have changed where it says, where I did say I was gonna switch over, because I'm pretty sure what's gonna happen is Apple is gonna come out with a Fold, a foldable phone, and everyone else around them, OnePlus, Samsung, right? OPPO, Honor Magic, all these companies that have fold phones already are going to somehow implement Apple's iOS, Apple's structure, Apple's something. But Apple is the king of copying, but they try to find the details and, you know, finalize it. They don't like to just throw things at you and say, here, consumer, try it. It has this chip, it has that chip. All those stats don't really matter when it comes to phones, because all that does is shows, oh, it has 16 gigs of RAM, this, and that's all it is. But if Apple can make the same type of speed and you know, phone, and those capabilities are there, they just say we have the A1 chip. They don't say we have this much of RAM, this much of this much of that, that much of that. You know, they don't advertise that as much as Samsung does, as much as OnePlus does, as much as Honor, OPPO does. They just show that, and that's not one of their talking points in videos that you do watch for reviews. So I think when Apple comes out with their foldable phone, foldable device, they did say 7.1. I think this is 8, you know, so it all depends. And if the aspect ratio cuts out into that 16:9, then that's what's gonna change the game. I think phones will start copying that because they see how much real estate they can get from videos. And I'm assuming that when Apple does come out with this, they're also going to have it where the aspect ratio fits like TikTok. So that aspect ratio is going to fit TikToks, YouTube Shorts, and then when you turn it horizontally, right, it's going to fit. It's going to fit like almost like this, but horizontal, but it will be a fold variant. That's how I see Apple changing that game and then people copying. But I also think Apple is 2 years removed from this stuff, right? So they now need to hire new tech, new people that can manage and do what the people want. End of the day, I think that you have to see the good and the bad in things. As a consumer, I see a lot of bad things that I don't like to deal with. I'm very lazy. I'm just showing you the natural things. I'm lazy when it comes to consumer rated things, right? I just want something to work. That works. If it works and I know it doesn't give me a hiccup, I'm gonna call out the hiccups. I'm gonna call out this. I'm gonna call out that. Right now, the OPPO. The only hiccup I have with the OPPO is the camera, and it may be because of this case. So the case being on it, it does give a little glare. So I don't like that. So you can't cover the camera, but when the case is off, it's beautiful. But when the case is on, there's like a little. I'm gonna show you this picture right now that I'm about to take of you guys. And I'm gonna show you with the case off, and this is with the case off. So I do have to start flipping down this case to take pictures because honestly, it's not the greatest looking picture with the case on. So anyways, all right, I've seen an unboxing of this phone sealed in plastic. Yes. So I remember this comment. OPPO, and it's not Apple's fault because it didn't come from OPPO. It came from a store in China. So I assume the store in China did the wrapping, just like they also opened the box. I would like to see OPPO send me a version how it should come in a box. But when I got it, it was like in a box recycled with a bunch of other wrappings, and it was just the actual phone box in there. So I can just imagine anybody tosses it around. It had bubble wrap around it, but it's coming from China, bro. Like, you gotta understand how much things are on top of it. It's on top of things. It wasn't like placed in a vault. It wasn't like nicely secured. You never know how people ship things. So when you're shipping something, you gotta also understand. I used to work for all these places: FedEx, UPS, Amazon, all these different companies. And when you see the boxes in the crates, they're all over the place. Some of them have been thrown in there, right? You know, so devices can get damaged like that. So again, I would like to have seen a better protection, but right now so far, I've had the phone for about 3.5 weeks and it's been running like butter, bro. So I'm just shocked about that. All right, so next, the comparison you showed is excellent. Sometimes we get carried away by marketing. Samsung doesn't have bad components, but I think they over-promoted the Z Fold to reveal some shortcomings and launch it on the market by testing it for consumers to buy. Sometimes we don't know how to search for and compare components that aren't available in the US, but the Apple Find has top-notch technology, especially when its camera Hasselblad has been the most prestigious brand in the world of photo for decades. Thank you very much for this review. Luisa, you're very, very welcome, okay? And I agree with you 100%. We get carried away with the spec sheet. We get carried away from the tech, and we start listening to these things as if that should be the end all be all. Most tech does not change, and if it does change, it's literally just a chip. Some cameras change, that's about it. Like 1-inch sensors have started coming out with different devices, and it still won't give you this type of quality. I think a lot of people are fixated on technology growing so bad that when they hear another review, they're hearing the same thing recycled. Literally, someone clipped something and said the same exact thing. How many times have you heard Snapdragon Processor 8 Elite? You know what I mean? How many times have you heard that in these reviews? And as a consumer, I don't care about that. I care about how it's used, how some of the software works with my devices currently at home. And for some reason, I have this mesh of a device thing I'm doing right now where OPPO works with Apple, but Apple uses Samsung. So it's like this phone is kind of bringing it all together. On this side, you have the MacBook side of things. Then you got the Samsung amount of things, which is like a tree branch where you have the watch, the ring, the AirPod. This is the phone that I wanted Apple to make. Yeah, I think that's just pretty much it. This is the phone I wanted Apple to make. Next comment. Thank you, Luisia. Luisa. Great phone, just too thin. The battery takes forever. This is 100% true. Battery, people are skimming over the battery problem. I can guarantee you there's a life support going on right now with people's ZFold, and that's one of the biggest flaws. Even if you optimize the battery, it is terrible. Bro, so DB says, bro, you are just finding out about developer mode. Android has had this forever, a decade. I don't understand Apple users. Y'all literally buy the same phone every year. Meanwhile, Android phones are flipping and folding. Okay, stop, DV. All right, because you're trying to attack my intelligence here, and I don't like that. All right, I'm not the smartest guy in the room. No. Am I the most talkative? Probably. Okay, but hear me out. You did not have that for decades. You did not have developer mode for decades. Okay, you weren't able to just press about phone 1,000 times and then you enter developer mode. That's not how Samsung worked. You had to boot and root. So you don't know Samsung's lore, and you're telling me you had to go on your laptop. Whoever remembers this, please type I remember, so I know that you're at this point in the video. You had to plug your phone in with the USB that it came with, and then you had to plug the USB into your computer and do the boot roots thing. The rooting, you had to root your phone to get it into the developer mode. And then you had to do everything through the phone's rooting system in order to get it to do what you wanted as a developer mode. So there was no developer mode the way you're saying it. The simplicity of developer mode now is not the same as it was maybe 10 years ago, because I didn't care about developer mode after the Galaxy. I think I had the S21 Ultra. I'm not 100% certain, but the S21 Ultra was, or S21 Ultra was the last one I had, and then I got the 14 Pro Max. After that, I didn't care about developer mode. So you got to also understand that I've been with Samsung for a while, and I switched to Apple because of I wanted the watch. They had a new Ultra watch, which Samsung didn't have. Samsung had the watch, but they had the little dial one. But Apple said, you know what, we're gonna come out with a better watch, than a bigger watch. You know what I mean? The one that you can go into water, dive, this, that, and that. It had so much stuff coming out for that moment that made me switch. I just went to the pool with this ring. Fire. Didn't fall off. Doing my thing, diving. I got those stats now. Okay? Crazy. Samsung just won up Apple. Now Apple's getting lazy. This is how things work. The battle of the phones, the battle of the techies. This is how it works. Welcome to the dark side. By the way, the damn iPhone is such a eyesore. Yeah, I know. Listen, I show you guys that iPhone. I don't have it here with me, but I show you guys the broken iPhone because that's what happened, man. Okay, next comments. Trust me, switching from iPhone to Samsung is one of the best things you could have ever done. I agree. As an iPhone user for 13 years, I never knew how far behind Apple was in technology until I got my ZFold 7. I said to myself that I have a month to try this phone out, and I'm going to return it back if I don't like it. Well, I'm here to stay. Here to say that after 1 week of learning the learning curve and adjusting all recommended settings that a lot of YouTubers suggested, I officially left the Apple ecosystem completely. I haven't looked back since. Multitasking on this phone blows all iPhones out of the water. 100%. 100%. Hi, please review the battery life between these phones. I have Fold 7, considering replacing with the N5. How about that? All right, so this is my official review. This is way better than the Z Fold 7. There's no comparison. I don't care if you optimize the battery. You don't have to optimize this in order for this to be better. This is better. It charges faster. It is longer usage. You don't have battery anxiety with this phone at all. Okay, you can just use it and be good the whole day. It's set not to reach 100% to protect the battery, but you can do the settings. So I think I asked something about how come my battery wasn't going past 98 or 99 on the Samsung Z Fold. I felt like the battery was kind of capped, and he said it's made to protect it for the charge. I agree, because my Tesla does that sometimes. You should never charge any of your items to 100%. Do 80 to 90% and see how much you can get out of that for the day, and that will last your battery. That's only if you're going to not switch phones. Like people that are going to switch phones in a year, this doesn't relate to you. You're going to switch the phone. Doesn't matter how good or bad your battery is. You're just going to change it out anyway. So for those that want to buy one phone and use it for 5 years, yes. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm sorry if it's long-winded. I'm going to edit as much as possible, so it can just be a smooth transition. I'm going to probably put some music in the background so you guys can hear something while you're hearing me talk about the same damn phone. There won't be any transitions to different visual pleasing, because I want to get the video out, the information out as quickly as possible, and you guys can just get to the point, right? So you can put this as a podcast and just like listen to it, and versus having to look at a video and just putting your attention towards here. Thank you guys for watching. This has been a long video and I'm tired and I want to go upstairs and edit it. So I will see you guys in the next one. I appreciate the love and support. Remember to smash a like and hit the sub if you are new to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one. It is your boy, Wayne Spencer. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.